It's week 2 for Ohio football 2014. It's 1-0 Ohio traveling to 1-0 Kentucky. Time for our game week preview. I'm Russ Eisenstein, the voice of the Ohio Bobcats. We're thinking back to a lot of the great moments in Frank Solich's first 9+ seasons here in Athens. And you could throw the opener and the 17-14 win over Kent State on the road into that mix too. Josiah Yazdani was Yazamatic from 44 yards away, and Ohio painted it all green and white. It's important to remember too that there were some great times prior to Frank's arrival, and because of the opponent this week, we think back to October the 2nd of 2004. 10 years ago, and the last meeting between the Bobcats and the Wildcats, and Ohio got it done 28-16. Ohio was on top 14-10 at halftime. There were no points in the third quarter. Then in the fourth, Ohio added to their lead, and they won the ballgame with a 14-6 fourth quarter to win by 12. Scott Mail was awesome, had north of 150 yards receiving in the contest. He had 2 touchdown catches, one of 44 yards, the other of 80+, and Ohio was able to win the game. It's always big to win in SEC country. It'd be big this time around, too. The Cats certainly have the ability to get it done. Ohio better than they were in 2004. Kentucky's better than they were in 2004, better than they were last season. They're renovating their stadium, and they're rebuilding their program, and things are most certainly pointed up. Here's a look at the 2014 UK Wildcats. The boys from the Bluegrass are attempting to bounce back. The University of Kentucky went 2-10 last season and have had 9 combined wins since their last bowl season of 2010. That was the end of a string of 5 straight bowls. The Wildcats did win 3 bowls in a row in 2006, 7, and 8. This is Mark Stoops' second season as their head coach. He was the defensive coordinator at Florida State prior. He's an Ohio native, and in recruiting and on the field, Big Blue might not be singing the blues anymore. They're all in on a program rebuild. Week 1 was a 59-14 win over FCS UT Martin. The Cats outgained the Skyhawks 656-398. Patrick Towles is their quarterback. The 6'5", 236-pound sophomore will play in his 7th game and make his second start. He can throw and run. Towles threw for 377 yards and a touchdown and ran for 30 and a score against Martin. Youngstown native and Nebraska transfer Braylon Hurd hit the ground running with 116 yards. Both of his touches turned into touchdowns. JoJo Kemp is back at running back too. He had 482 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. He had a touchdown run in the opener. 10 players caught a pass last week. UK's top 4 receivers from last season are back. Javis Blue was the best of the bunch. He had 4 touchdown catches last season. Ryan Timmons had 2 a year ago and 75 yards in the opener. Blake Bone reeled in the lone aerial score last week. Last season, UK gave up 427 yards of offense on average, the highest total in years, 31 points per game for the second straight year. Last season, they had just 23 sacks and 3 interceptions. They had 3 sacks and 2 picks in the opener. Junior college transfer free safety A.J. Stamps had 8 tackles and 1 of the INTs. 6'4", 264-pound senior defensive end Bud Dupree was their lone All-SEC team member last season. He was a second-teamer with 61 tackles, which was second on the team, and had 4 in the opener. Linebacker Khalid Henderson had 51 stops last year and 8 against UTM. This is the 5th straight season the Wildcats have hosted a MAC team. They're 4-0 in the previous meetings, won by an average of 30 points per game. It's only about 3.5 hours from Athens down to Lexington, depending on your route. Think about making the trip. It'd be great to see a lot of Bobcat green down on the Bluegrass. But if you can't make it, the game's on ESPNU. Our radio network coverage starts at 2:30 with the kick at 3:30 from Commonwealth Stadium. Rob Cornelius and I will paint the picture on the Ohio IMG Sports Network. That's a game preview of Ohio and Kentucky. For Tanner Smith, I'm Russ Eisenstein. This is Bobcat TV.